Ladies and gentlemen, it's me again, and I'm here with another guest. And how did I find this guest? Well, one day she wrote to me and started chatting with me on one of my social media chats. And she told me that she has a website, a podcast, and she wanted me as a guest. And I thought to myself, well, of course, but you're going to have to be a guest on my podcast. And here she is, Kim Shelar. Kim, welcome to our show. Say hello.
Thank you, Crystal. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Crystal, for having me. It is an honor to be on Multiple Voices.
Well, now, who is Kim? Kim is a meditation expert. She's an energy healer. And she's a mindset coach. And she's spent 16 years in the corporate space. And this is very common, Kim. I find that many guests come from the corporate world and they get fed up of it, you know. She spent so many years in the corporate space before she moved to this area of work. And her vision is to bring the benefits of mind potential and energy into the lives of people that spend most of their day in their office and business. She began her meditation journey back in the 10th grade. Now, she is not an old woman, but she is a woman nonetheless. So 10 years old is quite a lot of meditating, and she'll explain. Well, we're going to lead with that. But let me finish telling people who you are. She started practicing the techniques of SILVA mind control. And she's worked with over 3,000 clients. I'll say that again. 3,000 clients. Not at 10 years old, I hope, starting. Inclusive of groups, corporates and personal clients, by helping them tap into their own gifts and talents, by enhancing their infinite energy and releasing blocks that they have. And through her company, Me and Mind, which is my infinite my infinite energy and mind, she delivers mind-shifting trainings. And so as I continue to introduce you, Kim, boy, I'm really batting 100 today, Kim, there's two things I want you to think about before I finish. One is what happened in the 10th grade. What is that technique, SILVA Mind technique? And the name of the company, Me and Mind, and mind-shifting trainings. This is interesting for us. So she teaches meditations for different phases and manifestings of a person's life and energy healing. She also offers a range of subconscious priming products. But this is interesting, to awaken and engage one's subconscious mind to work in alignment with their desires and goals. She's been featured on several podcasts, magazines, and interviews for her thoughts and her techniques. And so she regularly gives us a reflection of the day, and I hope you can let us know where we could find that. And she leads with the belief that our outer world is a reflection of our inner world, and that forms the foundation of her approach. So, Kim, let's start with Kim as a 10-year-old.
The 10th grade, so around 14 years old.
The 10th grade. Oh, well, still, that's so young.
Yes. So interestingly, Christelle, at that age, I started seeing all different spirits. Like if someone passed on, I'd see them on my sofa. And, at that age, you're like, yeah, I can see ghosts. Let me talk to them. And I'm not scared. So I would interact and then get messages that, hey, the document is here. The gold is here. Tell my children this. And I had a lot of fun with it.
But wait a minute. You were actually asking them?
They were just chatting with me. They would just come and I'm saying, hey, what happened? And they'd say, can you please tell my family this message? And can you tell this one that? And I would happily go ahead and do it, know. It was not until two specific incidents, Christelle. One is when the 9/11 incident happened. I would keep seeing that image before it occurred for over a month.
Well, how old were you then?
I think 13, 14, something
Okay, so
like
it
that.
was very, it was the same time when this happened. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And I would keep seeing it and I didn't understand what it was. And then when it happened, I went into this different spiral guilt trip that, oh, I was blessed with this and I should have done
Ah,
something about it. And it's my fault. And it's so bad to have this gift because, I didn't do anything. Obviously, I didn't have a teacher. I didn't have, someone to guide me through that.
right.
And the second instance was once, this was when I probably was in my 12th grade, 2 years after, where I was studying in the night and I'm sorry, I heard this voice tell me, come to the window. And I'm like, okay,
Ah,
fine. So I'm standing at the window and I said, okay, now what do you want me to do? And I'm just staring across to the building ahead of me. And I said, tell me what you want me to do. And that's it. I didn't hear anything. I go to bed. Next morning, I get up. There's a commotion within the buildings. Like in India, we have something called a complex where it's like
right,
8 to 10 different buildings in one
sure,
area
sure.
and all of that. And there's commotion down. And I asked my dad, what's up? And he's like, the person in the building ahead, he committed suicide last night. And I'm like, no,
Wow.
that wasn't a suicide. Something fishy happened there. And I told my dad the
Ah.
entire incident. And he said, Kim, promise me you're going to zip it. You cannot
Oh,
go down.
why did he
You
tell you that? Why did he tell
Because
you
I
that?
was like, I don't know, 14, 15. He's like, you're not going to go down to the police and tell them this because you didn't see
Ah,
anything. It's a feeling,
ah,
right?
yeah,
And you have been made aware of the reality of, police
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
political
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
He was like, promise me you're not going to open your mouth. And I'm like, okay, fine. He said, let's pray for the soul, do all of that. And that was my second layer of, okay, I got a gift, but I'm really bad at using it, so I'm going to shut it off.
Oh no! Oh no!
So I did shut off my clairvoyance right after that.
Oh,
This was so sharp, Christelle, so sharp. And I was like, that's it. Then I started meditating and going inwards, if an exam was coming up, if I wanted to see a guy and, the one that I had a crush on,
but wait, wait,
only
wait, wait. When you
thing.
say I started meditating, then how? What form did that take?
That was the SILVA mind control. I picked up a book,
Yeah.
and back then it gives you all the techniques to practice. It gives you all the techniques of visualization. So literally at that age when I could have spent time, chilling down on the road, which we do
Yeah.
that as well. But I would spend a lot of my free time meditating. I
Yeah.
would spend a lot of my free time, bringing the attention to my third eye,
Yeah.
understanding all those things. I think back then, Crystal, my books were all self-help books.
You
This
mean you
understand.
were writing?
No, I was learning. I was
Ah,
absorbed,
okay, okay, okay.
and I was just that you used to just draw me, my energy, my attention completely. So that was where the entire path opened, and then the most pivotal moment of my life was when I would see my godmother. I would keep
Oh,
getting a vision that she was getting into an accident,
a
and
godmother. Can you explain that? Not all cultures have that. Who is
yes.
the woman? What did she represent for you?
So a godmother is, someone that your parents nominate as someone that takes care of you in case they pass on
Okay.
earlier. So
Yes.
she was my mom's older sister,
Good.
and I was very close to her. So I would keep seeing her getting into an accident, and I
Oh
came home one evening and I
my
asked my
God.
mom.
Ladies and gentlemen, she's telling this story. I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm listening to an audiobook thriller, and and my heart is racing. I'm sorry. Now take it again. You kept seeing what?
My aunt going, having this little minor accident. So I get home and I knew that around that time my mom used to chat with her on the phone. And I said, Mommy, how's Annie Jenna? And she says, yeah, she's fine. I spoke to her. And I said, no, just check. She's like, no, I spoke to her. What's wrong with you? I'm like, okay, fine. Right? In 10 minutes, my cousin calls and says, hey, Julian, we're taking mom to the hospital. She had a little accident. My mom was, she just lost it. And she's like, oh my God, tell me what happened. And she was all over the place. I'm like, Mommy, it's okay. It's just her leg. And I'm sitting, I'm not even talking to my cousin. This is the years when, Crystal, there were no cell phones. We only
Right.
had our
Of course.
landline number. And my mom is, completely like, I need to speak to someone, because till nobody calls her, she doesn't have any information. I said, Mommy, relax. I think uncle just was, getting the car off, and then the tire went over a foot. She's not serious, she's going to be okay. And she says, which foot? And I said, it's her right foot. And she's wondering, how am I answering? She's like, who's calling you? Who are you speaking to? So just relax. I know.
Yeah, jeez.
And then when my cousin did call her and my aunt spoke to her, my aunt started to say the same things that I said.
Yeah.
And my mom looked at me and she's like, Kim told me this. And my aunt said, just you guys come over and meet me. She didn't indulge in that conversation. And when she met me, she told me that their grandmother, she spoke about something about the veil being lifted and things like that.
The
And she
veil,
said,
yes.
yeah. She said, you've got this gift, you must develop it.
Oh,
And
brava, Mama.
I
Good.
know.
Thank goodness. Your father said zip it, and your mother said do it.
My mother's sister, because they didn't know. I mean, he was just scared about me getting into,
Of course.
in and out of the police crap. So, but incidentally, in that story, they did find out after a couple of months that the guy was murdered. So justice was served.
Oh.
So she told me, develop this. And that is when I started meditating. I started reading all the books. And life happens, Christelle, especially after 2 incidents. I shut off the clairvoyance. I was like, not for me. And, the entire story of going and the struggle and the hardships and manifesting only when you want it and not living that intentional, heightened, energetic
always.
life.
Yes.
And then my aunt was, she was in a coma, and she would appear to me almost every time. By this time, I had quit my job and I was investing my time, my energy, my money into learning all energy healing modalities. And my teacher told me, I keep seeing this, this lady always besides you. And she's like, ask who is she? She knew who it was. And I tuned in, and it was my aunt. And she told my teacher that I will not leave till this girl is on her path.
Yeah.
And now I understand that was her soul contract to bring me on this path right from the 10th grade. And then I went on to my own, finance world and operations world till I was back into that space. And that is the time I told her, I said, okay, fine. I promise I will stick onto this path.
Wait a minute. Kim, now, why did you get into the financial world when you had this extremely powerful gift? Was it something you had to do because you were being educated and you had to use your education in some way? Well,
I wish I knew earlier that this was something that could be a life path.
I see.
I started looking at it as just a skill, how to cook, how to drive, how to swim. I looked at that as just one of the skills one has that makes you unique, makes you smarter. This was something that was in all my interviews. When people say, what's your hobby? I'll say meditating. And I just got, the excess attention. But I didn't know that this could be a path. And I think my entire journey in the corporate, in all the things that I did, was leading me up to here so that I could go back
and serve
the people in that space.
So now, wait a minute. Now, I'll keep you on path here. There's so much on the fire. All right. So we talked about 10th grade, right? You said by practicing the techniques of SILVA mind control. Now, explain that. You did talk about the book. You picked up the book. Now, tell us what that book is about, who wrote it.
So the book is written by Jose Silva. In fact, right now, Mind Valley is running an entire series on his teachings itself, Dr. Jose Silva. And it's all about using more of your subconscious mind. It's all about training your mind to visualize, to see, to feel. It's kind of the basics in any mind work.
Right. Yes.
Right? Since then, of course, a lot has moved, and I'm more on the spiritual aspect of things, and
Yes.
more on the energy
Wait a
aspect of
minute.
things.
Now, let me interrupt you just a second, because when we hear talk of mind control, we always get the impression of, influencing somebody's mind, similar to hypnosis. What year was that book published? Do you remember?
No idea, because when I picked it up, it was already published for
Right.
years ago.
Uh-huh. Okay, I'll find that. Yeah, yeah. So now here we are. There are, of course, other things. I'm keeping you on track. So 3,000 clients. That is a lot of clients. A lot of clients.
Really.
And thankfully, congratulations. Now, helping them tap into their own gifts. Now, through your company, when did you start your company? Am I saying that right? Mia Mind?
No, it's my mind.
My Mind but it's written MIE. Mm-hmm.
That's right. So when I moved out and I was, learning and teaching, I was collaborating with everybody. And again, I think it came from a space of fear, So it was collaborate. And in Dubai, Christelle, for every service that you provide, you need to have the right license. So earlier I would collaborate with someone that had the license, that I would work with them.
Yeah.
And then as time progressed, and I think 2020 for me was very important here, because I stopped shying away from saying that, hey, I know what I'm doing and I'm good at what I'm doing, right?
Yes.
So that is when, and looking at the way people were all around me, I was like, okay, big girl pants on, you've got to step up, Kim.
Yes.
No more sitting back. You've got to step up.
It is literally, you have to step up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was doing sessions for, healthcare, for hospitals, for schools, for offices. Literally, leave aside just Dubai and Abu Dhabi, but people in LA, people in London, people in Australia. It was
phenomenal.
Phenomenal. I had at one of my courses, Christelle, there were 865 people.
Yeah.
And it was just, it just started to flourish. People started to see me because I started to show up without any fear. I showed up because I realized that I had a responsibility.
Yeah.
And that is when I said, fine, now is the time to invest in myself and stop piggybacking on people's license or a freelance license. And that's when I decided to set up the company. The name came up literally in a snap of a finger. I was sitting with a friend of mine in Starbucks, and we're thinking of names, and we wanted mind, we wanted energy, we wanted it not to be very fluid, but to have something that people can connect with. And then my infinite energy just came up.
Wait a minute. So it's my mind, my MIE, my infinite energy. So your company is called MIE?
Mind, yes.
Mind. And you say my mind.
Yes, because we all say that, right? We're
Right.
like, in my mind, I was thinking this, and in my mind, I perceived this.
Yeah.
So when my intention was that when someone says my mind, they need to remember that your mind is your infinite energy.
Yes.
Harness it.
Well, I don't know what to say now. Well, of course I know what to say. So you have a website? And your website is mymind.com, but it's MIEMIND.com. What am I going to find when I go there?
Well, you're going to find a very wonderful picture of me first.
You're so funny.
And three important things that I follow, live your life with passion, live your life with presence, live your life, like really live a big life. And peace, passion, presence, it's all part of, that purposeful living. We don't just come here to wake up, eat, sleep, have a little chitter. There is a reason. And when we start aligning to all of those aspects, you're truly living a life. You get to the end of the day, and if I practice this, Christelle, I have what is the highlight of my day? And there are some days where I have so many highlights. there's so much of amazing
Give
things
me an
that
example. Give me an example. A day, yesterday or the day before.
Okay, let's talk about yesterday, right? Yesterday, my highlights, I had 6 highlights in my diary. One was, I do a lot of energy readings for my
Yeah.
clients. That's 3 session where we'll go into meditation together. I'll call on their higher self and ask for messages
Yeah.
through their energy centers. And yesterday, I had 2 such beautiful sessions. One of the higher selves asked my client, when was the last time you smiled? Your smile is so
Aha.
magical.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
person started crying.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what a message. How beautiful. And the other client, she kept asking her, and this lady is a very well-known, leadership coach and things like that. And she said, when have you appreciated yourself? You appreciate the world, you support the world. When are you appreciating yourself?
Yeah.
And that moment was when she was able to open up and realize that, I'm being way too harsh on myself.
Yes, of course.
So those 2 messages were like 2 different clients altogether. The way it shifted things for these clients of mine, it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
The other part of it was something personal where I am a baby when I'm sick, okay? Like I
We
need
all
people.
are.
No. Trust me, I am a real baby. I'll go into mommy, daddy, Rolly, baby. So I go really
Funny.
the worst baby, right? So I had slept for like probably 3 hours, and then I had a very long morning. So by afternoon I was completely done, and I went to sleep, but I got up with a headache. So that was for a very long time. My husband is someone, when he's sick, you need to leave him alone.
Yeah.
When I'm sick, I need a lot of
Lot of
attention.
control. Yeah.
So
Cuddling.
we've been having this conversation for 15 years, but I'm like, when I'm sick, treat me the way I want to be treated, not the way you want to be treated. So for me, one of my biggest highlights on Monday was when I did have that headache. He sat beside me all the while till I went off to sleep. And my headache was not going, and I'm like, go and get my sage stick, light it up.
Yeah.
Now go above my crown. Now cleanse my energy. Go to my foot. Close
It's so
the leak
important.
of my
It
aura.
really is so important for that support. You get that
And
support.
yes, and he doesn't know all of these practices, but he followed it to the T. And then
Good
I
for
said, okay,
him.
this is how you
Good
put
for
it
you.
off. And in 10 minutes, I was off to sleep.
See, there you go. There you go. Wait a minute. I'm going to stop you because as you were talking, I went hunting and doing my research, and because I asked you, what will I find? And you said wonderful pictures of me. Well, I'm on your website, and the first thing I see is a free energy reading like you just described, and then there is a who can benefit, and for individuals there's a section on individuals, there's a section on corporates. So individuals start with there's a service 1-to-1, there's energy healing, there's free resources for people to tap into. There's energy healing. Let's see, what else is there? And courses, online courses. And more or less the same for corporates, human potential training, so on, so on, and so on. Then she has a podcast, and the podcast's name is Say More, all attached, Say More. You address yourselves to schools, you address yourself to subconscious priming. Now, tell us what this subconscious priming is.
Yes.
You can
This
order
is
this.
the book,
Yeah.
the little blue book. This was a product of 2020. Crystal, I noticed that all my clients, my male clients at least that were coming to me, they were coming when they were at the edge of the cliff.
Yeah, of course.
And I started to think, I said, what can I do for people to have some support, have some help, have some direction without having access to me or any other, therapist or coach or healer. And that is when on one of the full moons when I was meditating, I set the intention I wanted to download some information. And that was the birth of the little blue book. So this book, as once I've opened it, you see, it has 30 intentions each intention is, something, the all around. I love this. This keeps coming up. I think this is, it's for me. My
Yeah.
intention today is to reflect on the life that I desire to create rather
Uh-huh.
than just respond to the life that comes my way.
Right. That's absolutely important. Yes.
Isn't that beautiful,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there are different intentions. And if you notice, Crystal, there are certain words that are highlighted.
Yes.
Now, why is that? Because this is like a calendar. You keep it on your
Yeah.
desk, and every time you're still on your laptop, you're on your call, but these words are getting fed into your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
So when it's at my desk, I can see reflect, life, and desire.
Sure.
So my subconscious is getting fed. Reflect on your life, desire the life that you want. So by the end of a week, a month, a couple of
Of
months,
course. Of
your
course.
subconscious is not
Yeah.
just getting fed marketing ideas, but they're getting fed with something that's going to change you
Wait.
and instill that.
Wait. Okay. I haven't, I'm a woman who loves to talk, and it's very rare that I find someone who can talk more than me. Kim talks more than me. I have to stop her with my gesticulations. Now, because if you go on and on, we won't be able to talk about the other things that I really want to. We discuss a bit what it means to connect to our higher self and to align ourselves to our higher self?
Yes, I love that topic.
Okay, thank you.
You remember you remember, but people listening wouldn't remember that we were speaking about dissonance. There's
Right,
our
dissonance.
physical body running around, chasing our goals, paying bills, buying things, shopping, going for
Yes.
holidays. And then there's the energetic body that's saying, hey, do something more fulfilling. Hey, live a little purposeful life. Be happier, be more in alignment. And that is where, Crystal, well, technically, you know this better than me, that our soul may not have a look, it just has a representation of what we connect to. So, in my higher self alignment classes or teachings, I allow the person to have a representation of their higher self.
You mean a
And then
physical
every day,
drawing, a physical image?
an image, like a visualization, whatever
Yeah.
comes up for
Yes.
them in their meditation, and on a daily basis to align back to that higher self.
Well, what do you
You
mean
know,
by aligning? That's always misunderstood.
so aligning is more about saying that, for example, my higher self has certain characteristics. She's fun, she's playful, she is still a teacher, she does things, but it's not. Earlier, when I stepped into energy, well, so many people would tell me, you've got to wear white robes, you have to wear orange robes, you got to change your style. But I'm somebody
Makes
that's
me
either in pants or in short skirts.
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, I have to do this. I've got to look the part. Otherwise, people are not going to take me seriously.
I'm laughing so much because I understand what you're saying.
And you allow yourself to go down that hole, right? So all energy healers look the same. And when I started connecting with my higher self, she was still playful. She was not boring AF.
Yeah.
She was still playful. She was still having conversations like this. She could still have a joke at a life path, at my own
Yeah.
life path. And that is where I said, okay, that is something that I need to align with daily. What does my soul look like? She still wants to be
Right.
fun. She still wants to wear the shorts. She still wants to wear, short dresses to work. I mean, not indecent, but that's my style. And it's okay. I've had clients whose higher selves wear leather jackets and heels. So
Yeah.
what? Who said every higher self is only in a white gown? It can be the way your body wants
Sure.
to represent it.
Yeah, you made me think of a question now. This is, if you don't feel like answering, but let's play. As you were talking, I was thinking to myself, well, Kim, if this is an example, okay? I'm going to give you an example. Kim, something happens and all of a sudden you become fearful. I don't know. God forbid, you go to the doctor, you had a pap smear, a breast exam, and there's a shadow there. And of course, we're humans, and our breath is taken away. Now that brings me to the notion of what people like you and me do in cases like that, because we are highly spiritually, highly aligned, but when it hits the pit of our stomach, I could remember similar to this many years ago when there was a shadow on my breast, and come back, we'll have to, take a sample and test it. That night, I prayed to my mama, who was no longer alive. I was wanting my mother, okay? And the key word there is praying. Can you remember an experience that has happened to you and how you reacted?
Crystal, you'll be surprised or not surprised, but I deal and I have those fearful moments very often.
Oh,
it's not that
why?
It doesn't exist, right?
But why?
Recently, I manifested purely on the 4th of Jan. I was sitting on my balcony and I wrote that this year I want to move into an office, no longer working from home. I love to move into the office. This is how my office will look. I wrote it out.
Right.
5th Jan, 12 o'clock. I'm at a networking event in the morning. This is the only networking event I go to in a month. And I meet this lady. She said she's subletting her office. I go to her office. It is copy paste of the picture I had in mind. And I'm
Fantastic.
like, yes. And she says, Kim, you can move in tomorrow. That's when the fear sets in.
Why?
I'm like going, am I ready? Am I ready for this? Am I ready for this? Am I
The fear
ready
of
for this?
success, yes.
Yeah.
I've seen it so often.
And that evening, I went to the beach and I'm like, okay, buddy, let's talk. What's up, right? So sitting at the beach, listening to the waves. And that's when it appeared to me that the energy is ready. The subconscious was so used to being a square, being a triangle, being whatever structure, that this new energy shape was so different that it didn't know how to fit in. So that is when I did a meditation, sitting at the beach. I said, okay, let's clear out what we've been, all the struggle we thought that we had to go through to get this to happen in less than 12 hours, and let us just settle in. Let's just let it be there, right? So that is something that I did. I love meditation. I mean, that's my go-to zone. I love the beach. I love the sea. And like you, when it's all, I can't get, the energy is too low, like the days I would have a headache or so, I call on my godmother, my grandmother, grandfathers. I'm like, fix me. When I wake up, I must be fixed.
Yeah. I know.
And that's it. I wake up, I am fixed.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's fear. It is the fear, and it's everybody deals with it differently, but it comes up, like you said, every day or often, and it doesn't come up to me often. Of course, just to finish that story, it was just a water bubble. It was nothing, but still, it made me see what really happened. You talk a big game, but when it hits you, you think, "Oh God, your touch of death. You're getting close to that." And the fear comes. Of course, this was so many years ago, and now, I'm ready to sign a piece of paper. I've done so many things in my life. I'm ready to go. I have no problem. I say it, but then when it happens, who knows? Yeah. So now let me push you into another direction, okay? Understanding and working, because you gave us a lot of examples about manifesting. You just mentioned this apartment. Mm-hmm. How can people understand that and work in sync with energy, the energy for money and physical wealth? A lot of people are interested in that.
Yes. Crystal, it's very, very simple. We cannot manifest if we don't heal our energy blocks.
Okay,
I
agree.
We can do New Year, the new moon meditation as much as we want.
I know.
We can plant the seed. The energy will come to us, but it will come and it will touch and go.
Now say it again slowly, what you just said.
Manifesting is not difficult. we can manifest, we can plant the seeds, but for it to be embodied and not just come, touch, and go, that is where we need to heal the energy blocks.
All right,
That
now,
is where you
of course, the next question is how can we heal energy blocks?
Your triggers, your fears, they're the indicators. Like in my previous example, me thinking that, hey, I manifested the office like within 12 hours. Why am I on pins? It was the fear of success, the fear of this big opportunity, the fear of, never been in an office before that I was paying rent for. It was always where I worked. So I had to bring that up, allow it to come up, have a conversation and say, okay, time for you to leave now. Replace that energy space with something else, with a different energy.
Yes. Now, can you help people? Is there some part of the services that you offer? I remember before we recorded, I did talk about what I do with soul therapy, removing blocks and restrictions. Do you work with people in that sense?
Yes, absolutely. I have, if you've seen the individuals, Crystal, I have something called the journey. The
Yes,
journey
the
was launched
journey.
early this year, where the idea is not do one meditation and go, not do one clearing session and go. It is the journey. We spoke about it, the soul journey, life journey, healing is the
Yes.
journey,
Yes.
manifesting is the journey. And because it's a journey, we need to do it again and again. We get to step up again and again. We've got to learn again and again. We've got to release
Yeah.
again and again. So, in the journey, it's a membership group where every month we have a master class. So, and every alternate month, 1 month is of how to create, because we forget that we can
I'm
create.
signing up. I'm signing up.
Perfect. The
Yeah.
second month is a clearing. We're working with healing wounds. We're working with understanding why things trigger us. Bring it up, clear it out, get rid of it. And then the month after that, again, we're going into creation. So in that balance is where, and it's very cheap. It's like hardly, I don't know, it's 110 dirhams. So that's probably less than $30, which is very affordable.
So
That's your
that's less than $30 for a series of encounters.
for a month.
Uh
So
huh.
in a month, there's a master class, which is around 2.5 hours, fully immersive. We
Wow.
go through the body, the mind, the energy, all the aspects before we create what we're doing. Then we have a theme meditation that the entire group practices. We have a Facebook groups where we share our wins.
Good.
There's a joint energy. So, because what I
Powerful.
realized, yes, that I may be on a journey that my friends, my family, and my colleagues aren't. And then I want to share that, hey, I
Sure.
manifested this, hey, I
Sure.
felt this block release. And they don't get it. And
Yeah.
that is where having a tribe that's going through the same journey, like we're in school again, people relate to you. You have your
Yes.
audience, you have people to cheer for you, to support you. So that is what the journey is about.
Yeah. So we have talked about so many things. Basically, it is your background in meditation, how you work with meditation, which is at the basis of everything, and very, very high on the list is our higher self. Now, I know we talked about your website, My Mind, MIE, mind.com. Do you have social media that people could find you at?
Absolutely. Instagram is my.mind.
So
Facebook is
wait.
again
My MIE dot mind.
dot. Facebook is MIE Mind. So that's just my mind there. LinkedIn, we have the page which is My Mind, MIE Mind. Plus, you can find me, that is Kim, KIM, Shelar, SHELAR. And where else am I? Spotify. Say More
Good for
by
you.
My Mind.
Good. Say more. Very, very good. Thank you so much. This is not a goodbye. This is an arrivederci. We are going to stay in contact. It is by no chance that our paths are crossing, Kim. I really appreciate you taking the time to come and talk to us. I'm sure my followers and listeners are thinking the same. I'm very
You.
I'm very glad I
Well,
met you, Kim.
me too, me too. And the person connecting us is very happy right now if you're already seeing the energy around. Because I'll usually channel him and say, hey, how can I be as disciplined as you were in your life, right? And he's like, journal, buddy, journal.
Yeah, I journal. I journal. We
So
will
that's
talk
okay.
again, Kim. Thanks and goodbye.
Big love,
Big
Crystal.
love to you,
Pleasure
Kim.
with you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.